Hey guys, it's Josh, and welcome back to the Not So Bad Bachelor Pad, your favorite podcast for learning how to balance between being a functional adult and a raging dumpster fire. And let's be honest, we're all a little bit of a dumpster fire. Sliding into the Bachelor Pad this week is Shelley Badayos.
Yes, perfect. I love it. Okay, you didn't butcher it. Amazing. Hi.
The only thing we're butchering this week, guys, is the turkey because we are shooting this during Thanksgiving week. So, in the comments, let me know what you did for Thanksgiving. Did you fill your belly? If not, I'm sorry. I'll send you a plate. But no, Shelley, thank you for making time for us today. How are you? How are you?
I am great. I am okay. So this is the funny story here is actually this is my first Thanksgiving that I'm celebrating after years. And reason being is because I know you haven't asked it, but I'm gonna start it because I'm very thankful for this.
Let's get into it.
I have been working as a nurse for years now. And
Hmm.
finally, I had the courage to finally just call it quits and do this full time. And now I'm celebrating Thanksgiving because I always work during the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas
Right.
Eve, Christmas Day. So now I'm here. I'm finally celebrating. And I'm like, wow, I can eat food again, not be in the hospital.
No, I feel that. Shelley, hey, where are you located right now? That's the first question.
I am in California, like Southern California in LA.
Okay. I,
Yeah.
that's where everybody lives.
Right?
Yeah. Easy question for you. Name of the show is the Not So Bad Bachelor Pad. What's your current relationship status? Are we checking complicated, single, taking? Please don't ever say another word to me. Like, where are we at on the spectrum?
Mine is very clear. I am in a happy relationship.
There we go. We love to hear it. We love to see it. That's
Right.
everybody's goal for the most part. Some people are addicted to the toxic, but everybody here in the Not So Bad fam, we're moving away from that. We're growing. Maybe a little by little, but we're growing, becoming less of dumpster fires.
That's good. We have to extinguish it at some point.
Do we?
Like, do we want to keep that fire burning forever and then you're gonna suffocate and die?
Listen, you gotta keep the plot a little interesting. You know,
Yes,
it
yes,
may not be burning, but there's still a little bit of smoke, still
exactly.
smolder.
We can keep the
Yeah,
smoke, just not burning,
full fire.
burning.
Okay, that's fair.
Exactly.
Yeah. Alrighty. Hey, I know you're gonna give you all your lore here in this episode. You just left the medical field. You're kind of like coaching full time. What was the thing that really pushed you to be like, I don't want to do this anymore, Grandpa?
Honestly, from the beginning. I don't okay, so just to give you a backstory, growing up in an Asian household, being an only child, they force you to do certain things because my parents were very traditional that way.
Hmm.
Like they said it's either you take nursing during college or we're not going to pay for your tuition. I really wanted to do something along the lines of psychology,
Hmm.
and they told me, no, you can't. You have to go to nursing. And that's how I got into nursing school. When I got into nursing school, I tried failing nursing school. I tried, but I felt guilty because they were paying for my tuition. And then I graduated as a nurse, took my board exam, and then I worked as a nurse for like 8 years. At some point, during COVID especially, I would say I got really depressed. Before, I wouldn't admit it was depression, but it came to a point where my thoughts were already thinking about, okay, disclaimer, okay, trigger warning for suicide and death. I was thinking about that. I was like, I wasn't actively doing it, but at the same time, the thoughts are already happening in my head. Like, if I die right now, it doesn't matter because I feel like my life is pointless, right? One day I received a call and I thought it was just a random job application. Like, you know how like we get a lot of like calls from recruiters and stuff like that. And after they ran some random questions to me, they said, "Oh, we're not hiring for a job. We're actually qualifying you for coaching school." I was like, what the fuck is coaching school? And so that's how I got started. And that's when a lot of my guy friends also started approaching me for a lot of dating advice. And then I was like, okay, I see. Because I didn't have a specialty when I started doing coaching. I was just a generic life coach, right? Then I noticed I was really good at doing dating, giving dating advice. And I was also going through my fair share of like, as you've said, being a toxic relationship, like on it. My dating life sucked. it was very inconsistent. I was always chasing men. And I noticed that my guy friends too were doing the same pattern, and they were always chasing unavailable women. So I that's when I noticed like men and women just want the same thing. It's just we see dating differently. So that's how I got started with specializing in dating for men. I took other or more certification just to really hone in on my specialty because I do specialize in a lot of internal work and somatic coaching. Are you
Mhm.
familiar with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So really a lot of internal work so that their dating life is better and breaking free from that pattern of like I'm used to chasing these types of women. I'm used to getting friend zoned or being ghosted. Like there's always the common denominator here is yourself. Always. There's something about yourself that you have to change or that you have to put yourself in a different perspective on to change this outcome that you're having in dating. Because that personally, that's what happened to me. And that's how now I got to be in a healthier relationship. So
I
yeah.
mean, it takes a couple bumps and bruises and a couple messy situations to really find something worth investing in and building. So sorry, guys, if you're listening, if this is your first relationship or whatever you're going through, but the growing pains are real. There's no way around it. No matter if you have a coach to start or not, you're gonna make mistakes. I feel like you hear the friend zone terminology way more from guys than you do from women.
Right.
And I would have to say, before you became a fixer of getting guys out of the friend zone, have you friend zoned anybody before?
100%. Friend zoning guys is not something unfamiliar to women. I would
Mhm.
say ask all my girlfriends, they have friend zone guys. All women. From women who are attractive to women who are what you call mid. Everyone. Trust.
Yeah.
So,
Listen,
yeah.
I was like, "Hey, attractiveness is definitely like the three bears to," because sometimes people are too hot. Sometimes people are definitely not hot enough, but sometimes they're just mid, and that's okay
Yeah.
because you gotta have a full. Okay, this is my hot take, and I'm gonna ask you what your dating hot take is too.
Ooh, okay.
But I think you can be too hot. I've definitely like told women before, like, "Hey, sorry, you're just a little too attractive for me." And they're like, "That's not a thing." And I was like, "No, it is. Like, if you ask guys, like, you can be too hot. I can acknowledge your beauty, but you're too cute to be my partner." Because I feel like I'm gonna be in a fight every day, because every guy's gonna like look at you or try to catcall you, and then I'm just gonna like, I can't fight anybody. I can't fight everybody every day. I can't do it. So I'm okay with having like a mid plus partner because I'm mid plus.
No, I agree with that. 100%. Honestly, like if you look at the factors that affects attractiveness, one of them is this, like the physical appearance,
Mhm,
where you get attracted on. But the thing is, when you say somebody's too hot, that's when you tend to put them on a pedestal. And when they're on a pedestal, you're not gonna attract them,
mhm.
honestly. And so it's normal to say somebody's too hot or out of your range. That is a valid thing to say if you feel like that is not something that you see yourself being in a relationship with and you're just admiring them. That's okay too. That's a very fair hot take, honestly.
You know what? You hear guys, I'm verified. I'm not crazy. It's real. It's a valid opinion. It's been we've clocked it. It's official. No, but that's always a fun thing I love asking people. Like, do you have any dating hot takes as somebody who is in the space as well, like a relationship coach? I feel like we have some sometimes controversial opinions.
You know, I don't even know if my takes are hot takes anymore. I say a lot of things. I don't know
Okay.
if they're hot anymore or what. But because this is the thing, and this is what frustrates me sometimes when I see like people comment. I receive a lot of comments about this, like, don't listen to women about like dating advice. They don't know what they're saying. Don't ask a fish how to catch a fish or something like that. I hear that so many times. I'm like, guys, like, we are not fishes. And if your analogies to relate us to fish, then how you're seeing this is like you're trying to hunt us, not build a connection. And there's a difference. And this is why you're not succeeding in dating. And some of these people who are taking these kind of dating advice are the people who want long term relationships. I
Mhm.
mean, I guess the game is great if you don't want anything sustainable because the game focuses so much on performative dating, which performative
Yes.
dating is not sustainable for a long-term relationship because at the end of the day, the girl will just start hating you because she didn't really love you for who you are in the first place. She loved that person who she saw initially, but not really who you are.
And vice versa, because I tell people this, as somebody with 2 theater degrees, you can only act for so long, and then
Oh,
the
right.
minute you show yourself or, like, the real you slips out and it's rejected, it's not gonna be the same relationship, and you're gonna, like, grow to kinda not despise the person, but you're not gonna be invested as much anymore, and you're gonna start to question things. So you're right, performative dating, not really the motto I subscribe to for myself or my clients either, because you're right, it's just not sustainable.
So I don't know if that's a hot take anymore, but I just say I have a habit just saying what I want to say. And even like the funny thing is like all these advice that majority of the men who are having struggles with dating are taking are from like alpha male culture or red pill movement or something like that. And it's just like, why? Why?
And that is the biggest thing that I try to tell, like, not tell people, but I'm all about perspective. You can never have too much perspective.
Right.
I do think some parts of, like, the quote unquote red pill guys are valid. But I also think a lot of it is wild. Like, never in a million years could I think or say some of the stuff that comes out of their mouth with a straight face and like mean it. But if it works for you, it works for you.
Hmm.
But for me, I'm more holistic in my approach to dating and
Mm.
relationships because you don't need just physical stability. You need financial stability, emotional stability, physical stability to make a well-rounded relationship. Fire on all cylinders. I mean, I don't, and what you said, I think it's still a hot take because you always have so many new people re-entering or just entering the dating pool where they are still prescribed to rom-com MD,
Hmm.
and that's because their whole life they're fed, like, girls are fed princess narrative from Disney and, like, I mean, I grew up in the '90s, so, like, '90s rom-coms were, like, really big for it, and they still make them today, like, the
Yeah.
whole, like, damsel in distress trope, and when that's the only thing that's displayed, and then you get out to the real world, that's why you get so many performative people because and guys are given the same thing, like, "You gotta be an athlete, you gotta be super machismo," and I was like, "This is a script,"
Hmm.
which is nice and all, but once you're out into the real world, you gotta be able to adapt on the fly,
Right. Right.
you know? And that's what a relationship is. You're like, "Hey, you have to find out who the hell you are first," because that's a big problem a lot of people have that I've dealt with is
Oh, 100.
they don't know who they are, and when you don't know who you are, you just try to be the person they want you to be,
Hmm.
and that also is a super big turnoff.
Right. And that's how you get into toxic relationships or unsatisfactory relationships in the first place. And if you don't know who you are, you don't know what type of people you want to welcome in your life, which is very important because there's no filter, there's no boundary, there's no like foundation there that you're basing on. So it's like you're always just going to be lost by like somebody's definition of you, which is
Yeah,
very sad, honestly.
letting somebody else define you if I mean, guys, don't even let me define who you are as a person. That is something that only you can give yourself. If you think you're a happy person and you're satisfied with your life, keep doing it. Don't let like your metrics of success cannot be defined by other people. Just because Tim's doing this and Sarah's doing that doesn't mean that you need to be doing what either of them doing. Carve a new path or maybe do what they do and just do it better. Either way, it kind of works out.
Yeah. And the biggest competitor in life is just yourself. That's it.
100%.
Like not really comparing. Yeah, this is what I'm noticing too. Like a lot of men, or at least some of the men that I've encountered in my clients, like a lot of them are very unsatisfactory with their life is because they're always comparing themselves and their life and where they are to someone. Might be their friends, might be family, might be I don't know, somebody. And it's like it is the true thief of joy because when you don't see those you appreciate more what you have, and coming from that lens of appreciation, that's when you attract better things. And also this affects the demographic that you start surrounding yourself when it comes to dating and the type of women that you meet.
And they can kinda tell, like, how your lens is for yourself really is a reflection of the people you date.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Like we
Yes.
talked about earlier, when you think somebody's too good for you, you put them on the pedestal, so
Mhm.
they're already discounted, like, you're probably not
Mhm.
gonna date that person because admiration is a good thing just in life, but not really in a relationship. Like, people usually want a partner, not a fan,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, somebody that they can level with,
Mhm.
not somebody
Well,
that could be in service of them or something. Yeah, because it's hard when this is the thing with relationships. At some point, you have to be not agreeable with your partner because if you're always agreeable, then there's no growth. That's why you have to clash at some point because this is where you start growing and understanding how you deal with conflict and you learn something out of it. It's a reflection of what you need to work on yourself and what your partner also needs to work on and how you guys handle it together. But then if you're like, "Oh, yes, I can do this for you," and you're just letting everything pass because you adore them so much, it's like, oh, feels so boring, you know? Like, what is this? It's not stimulating anymore.
somebody told me this, they're like, "Forever is a long time." If you really
Yeah,
think about it, we all drag through a work week, and that's only 40 hours, so imagine forever, and I was like, "That's a little pessimistic, but also, I get it, like, you're right, because you can't retire from life until it's your time to go,
you're
like,
right.
so you just gotta keep grinding at it every day. Now, I'm gonna take a flip on a question I love asking, and because I think it's a little relevant to what you do, I normally say, "What's a feature that you used to find super attractive that you don't find attractive anymore?"
Mm,
But today, I'm gonna ask you, what's a feature that used to be attractive to you in a partner that now as a dating coach, you're like, "No, that's kind of, like, questionable behavior," or like, "Really? I liked this?" Or, I mean, you could have had good taste the whole time in your dating career
no,
and
I
been better
did
than me.
not. Honestly, I did not because for me, it was just like, oh, if we agree on a lot of things and we have a lot of things similar or we share similar things, that's already a good thing for me, right? But at the same time, I'm not sure if this is like still questionable for me or now I'm just more open because like my current partner right now, we're very different in a lot of ways, but then at the end of the day, we share the same like outlook in life, morals, values. That's what builds the foundation of our relationship. But what's good about this for me, and this is why I also find this attractive too, is because I am always presented a different perspective in how I view life and vice versa to him, which is also in turn helping us both grow and also letting us discover the wounds that we have for ourselves. So I think for me, that is a new thing that I've discovered because among all of the people I used to date, we're always in sync. So a lot of similarities, but this one is different. And I find beauty in this now because like it also helped me, and this is what I realized with myself because I think for me, when we have a lot of things in common, there's a form of control within me that I can try to control something because we
Mhm.
have the same thing, if you get what I'm saying. But right now, since everything is so unpredictable and I can always ask him to go out with me, or there sometimes he likes to just stay here and I would like to go out. Like, this is like the art of learning how to let go of control and let the person be who they are as a person. Despite that, you still love them because you know at the end of the day they got your back.
I think that is one of the hardest things to do in any long-term relationship is to lose control. And what I mean by that is not be manic, not be inconsistent. This isn't build a partner. I'm sorry, I know they have Build a Bear, but you can't just go into a shop and be like, "Hey, I want somebody who does X, Y, Z, this tall, this short, these features," and they just pop out. Because even if you did build that person, you have no control over what happens when the creation comes to life. You know, I was
Yeah.
like, it literally takes on a life of its own, and it has thoughts, hardships, different perspectives, on life, relationships, everything. It has opinions. Relationships involved 3 people: you, your partner, and the relationship in itself, because it's alive. It's a
Mhm.
living thing that changes, that grows. So you have to, like, treat your relationship like it's an actual person and do the work to build that, to build it up.
Yeah, yeah. It evolves with you.
Now, that being said, we love job security. So, like, you can keep having problems and asking us. We will gladly do a session with you. Listen, let's. I'm just keeping it real. But like I said, it's never at the expense of any client. What is a mistake that you notice, or like a pattern that you see in a lot of your clients that not necessarily keep them coming back, but keeps bringing new ones in the door? Because I feel like there's a lot of overlap between at least my demographic of there are just certain pitfalls that everybody's kind of falling in
Mhm.
all over the place. Like friend zoning, a super big thing because they're doing unequal kind of like admiration
Right, right.
or just the lack of first person accountability is huge. Like I've noticed that's a lot of my younger guys don't have the first person accountability. They just like always like to deflect it onto somebody else. And I was like, well, let's
It's
rewind it here.
women's fault. It's their fault. Everyone in my city is like this. I
Yeah.
hear that too.
hmm
Yeah.
So, what are some common things that you're like, "Oh, like, for sure, we can definitely work on this, but man, you gotta stop."
There's a lot, but one of the most common things that I see is one of them is yes, you're right, putting women on a pedestal and having this equal admiration. Sometimes I notice some of my clients like have a hard time of letting go on someone they have highly idealized in for the longest years, like the one who got away or like their high school sweetheart or crush or something like that. That's another thing. Another thing is, and this is crazy, like some of my clients are really good at like their careers. They're good at like speaking in their job, but then at the same time, they're having a hard time gaining that confidence when it comes to dating. Or they forget all ounce of how to socially interact with people when they start talking to women. And at some point, it is how they see themselves and their worth when it comes to dating that I'm noticing. That's the common denominator there. So confidence is a big issue. And of course, friend zone and getting ghosted. Not sure what they're doing when it comes to dating apps. And sometimes some of them, if they don't come off as too aggressive, they come off as too like stagnant. Like they don't do anything at all, even though the woman's already doing, like sending such obvious cues for them to like they're asking like please make a move on me, like I'm already this close to you, and they don't do anything because they assume I just want to be polite, I don't want to come off as creepy, but then it's just like she's already in front of your face, you know? So just knowing those cues, and they overthink a lot. It's a lot of overthinking, a lot of just like putting women on a pedestal, a lot of self-doubt, self-esteem issues. So yeah.
I was like, "I know this isn't the place to get relationship advice, but because of what I do, it's all over my algorithm." But I saw this post on Instagram a few days ago,
Mhm.
and I never had thought about it before, but it kinda makes sense. And they say overthinking is the result of not trusting your gut.
Yeah, no, 100%. It is this, you know what? Overthinking is actually a coping mechanism of
Mhm,
you trying to avoid. Because here's the thing. When it comes to our innate gut, like our gut, it doesn't care. It's not scared. What it wants, it wants. But sometimes our brain, because of, a lot of things, childhood, the environment that they were raised in has affected it, and how they see the world has changed. It has implanted that, okay, this is not safe. We shouldn't do this. That's how overthinking happens.
mhm.
And if you don't find a way to, and this is why it's so important to slow down and really just take a step back and take a deep breath, because overthinking is coming from a place of your mind going so fast that your body can't keep up. You have to allow your body to catch up and let the mind and the body come together so that you can hear both of their consensus, so that you can also hear what your gut is saying. And that helps with overthinking. And this is a practice, especially for people who have gone through their lives so used to like overthink.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
It's so funny, it's one of those things that goes unnoticed, but then now that you hear it, you'll never unhear it.
Mhm.
You're right. It's for anybody who you talked about, like, you wanted to go into psychology earlier. It's the basic principle of id versus ego, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, your ego knows what it wants, it knows how to get it. It's all about results and that instant gratif or the gratification, not necessarily instantly.
Mhm.
But the id, the person that you, like, put on, has to follow all these societal rules, and it was like, "I don't want people to view us this way." Guys, we're in our villain era right now, or at least so I'm in
Yeah.
my villain area. I tell
Yes.
people, "You can't be the hero in somebody else's story, so you might as well embrace being the villain, okay? Break the
Mhm.
egg, step on the toes, because when you get to the end of your story, you don't want it to be, "Oh, I'm not actually in most of these pages are about somebody else." Like, the memories you have, the life that you lived should be with you at the forefront. Now, I'm not saying steamroll everybody around you, but make sure not to take too big of a backseat in your own life.
Right. And the funny thing is also this is another form of control. You trying to appear a certain way just so you could have control of what other people perceive of you. And this is why it's so important to let that go.
Mhm.
Because a lot of these people who overthink are scared of the unknown, of what's possibly going to happen if they start letting go. And sometimes you just have to surrender and be like, whatever happens, I'm okay with it, you know? Because not everything is in our control. We do not control the perception of other people. We do not control what other people think of us. And being okay with that, that's when we also stop overthinking. Because I read this quote just this morning about saying like I forgot like you being embarrassed about something is like living through other people's perception of you or like when you're always embarrassed, if that
Right.
makes sense. Yeah. That means that you're so conscious about what other people will think that you forget about your own happiness.
Yeah.
And so you're very like rigid and you act on like what's expected of you, which sometimes is not good because that's when regrets form later on.
That's so true. I was like, you don't want your what if list to be longer than "I did."
Yeah. I
No, I
believe
love
that's
that.
better to regret something that you did than regret
Mhm.
something that you didn't do because that's gonna haunt you forever. At least when you do it, it's like, done. Okay, I don't like doing this anymore. That's it. But the what ifs is like, oh my God, what if I just did this? It's just ringing in your head forever. It's like, can this just stop? And it won't
Right.
stop, you know?
Yeah. It will drive you crazy. Now, playing off of this, we were talking about, like, confidence a little while ago, and I love it. I think it's such a crucial part of not just any romantic relationship, just relationships in general. So, you have a program called Dating with Confidence. Guys, I just told you relationships, they're real, they're living beings. If your program had a warning label, what would that warning label say?
Oh, it's not for people who are looking for a quick fix. Some people, oh no, a lot of people approach me thinking that they'll expect quick results. This is not what I want. If you want something quick, you'll lose it quick, honestly. For me, I want to give you sustainable results and confidence takes time to build. And so if you want sustainable results, you gotta accept that this doesn't happen overnight. That's what I always tell everyone. Like, I don't want people to half-ass this because I'm coming here 100% on my 100%. I want you to also come in here so that we can make the most out of this.
You know what's funny? I have a couple of friends who are in the personal trainer, physical fitness coaching space, and this was the conversation we had this summer, or maybe a little before the summer. He was like, "Everybody's trying to get their beach body ready, like, they're stepping outside," and he was like, "This is, like, our busiest time," and I was like, "I wish I could say the same," because what I notice is people are okay grinding harder to look a certain way
Mhm.
in the gym than they are to invest into their relationships. Because a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
the like, those first, like, kinda screening calls I even have with people is they're really just looking for cool Band-Aids that people will pay attention to and
Mhm.
not actually, like, fix the problem or update the procedure so that they don't need the Band-Aid. Guys, if you can devote 6 months to a fitness regimen, a diet, some type of routine, why can't you do the same thing in your relationship with yourself, with your family, with your partner? Because it's the same thing, like, we're rebuilding you, we're restructuring you from the ground up to make you into the person that you wanna be, to help you evolve.
Right.
I was like, "I'm good, don't get me wrong, I'm one hell of a coach, but it's gonna take me more than overnight."
No, yeah. And this is just unrealistic expectations. Imagine you building these patterns that you have throughout your whole life, do you expect that to just be gone in a snap? No. Just like you have built this all throughout your life, it's the same thing with changing habits or changing beliefs or really getting to the root of the problem and making room for a new belief that you want to start believing so that you can
Mhm.
become a better person. And it's just like people are always looking for the quick fix. They have something that they need to work on too.
And also, like, that's also for the person who wants to spend a year trying to develop.
Yeah.
Because it's called self-help, but you can only help yourself so much before you have to start actually applying the principles that we're talking about. So you can't stay with the coach, you can't stay in therapy forever. Like, you gotta break out and actually, like, test what you learn. Because if
Mhm.
I hold your hand the whole time, you're never gonna take off the training wheels and be able to ride this thing by yourself.
Right. No, that's what I tell my clients too. It's like, hey, you know what? As much as possible, I just want you to stay here for this amount of time. I want you to get out, and my goal is not for you to stay here forever. I don't want you to be codependent on me. I want you to stand on your own 2 feet and be able to tackle whatever is holding you back by yourself. Because you can't grow that way, you know?
100%. Yeah, I agree. And I was gonna say that's why I like the 2 programs that we offer, they're set durations. I don't have anybody in my client list with an indefinite session with me. I was like, "We have a 6-week program, we have a 12-week program. You
Hmm.
can do one or the other, but I want you at the end of 6 weeks or the end of 12 weeks to be comfortable and confident enough to go out and do it yourself. Now, if you do it for a while and it's not working or there's still some things you're uncertain of, sure, let's set up a couple one-on-ones, or maybe if you did the 6, let's do the 12 so you can get that extra 6 weeks of stuff that we work on." Because
Hmm.
people are at different places, but giving yourself a time frame kind of forces you to actually lock in my opinion. Because
Goals.
yeah, they're like, like, "Maybe sometime next year or the year after that, I'll finally be ready to get back out
No.
there." No, we're gonna get this in 6 weeks, 7.
Yeah.
Okay, you'll finish the program, you get 6 days to go out there and start executing it.
No, you know what? This is crazy, and I'm gonna tell you something because one of the top problems of my clients is like when they do match with somebody on dating apps. I don't know why they prolong it for like 2 to 3 weeks in the messaging, and then they never ask the person out. And I always tell them once you prolong it to that long, you're never going on a date. And
I was
the
like, "That's
thing
just the
is,
homie at that point."
right, exactly. And the thing is, attraction dies and the momentum dies at that point. If you want to build attraction, you have to ride the momentum and you want to keep it fresh. And you want to, the goal of dating apps is always to bring that out in real person.
Mhm.
And some people are just so uncomfortable with taking it out on a date because they're so scared, right? But at the same time, you can't be, and this is how you also get friend zone. You can't make the conversation stay in the dating app forever. At some point, you have to go out. That's why now I always tell my clients, like, within a week, if you guys have a good conversation, within a week, you have to ask them out within that week. 2 to 3 days is really good, but within a week, you have to. Because after a week, trust me, you're not going out on a date anymore. Or if you guys do, you're going to be seen as a friend.
I was literally gonna say, "You're a lot nicer than me," because I tell people, I was like, "3-day max." Like, if you cannot you don't have to go on the date in 3 days, but if you cannot make the plan and stop using Schminder, Schmumble, like, whatever app
Right,
you're
right,
using,
right, right.
it's not working. Make a plan, get the number, go out. Those 3
Yeah,
things. It's that simple because you're right, once it lives there too long, I was like, "That's just a friend. It's a pen pal that, like, you'll probably never meet."
right.
That's just one more what if on that column. Like, don't give them the what if. Just make it a
Yeah.
reality.
Yeah. And if you want to really approach dating coming from an intentional place, then really ask them, like, hey, I don't really want to prolong this conversation here. We had such a good time talking here. I really want to take you out. Just go or ask something, have something ready because you'll never know what's going to happen. And if they do reject you, then that's okay because rejection is redirection. Like that means that that person is not meant for you and it opens new doors for you to find a better person that's more suited for you. And that's it.
Alright, you listen, I can't agree more. But you brought up a great point that and I love having this conversation with my non-male colleagues or guests as well because it's just I talked one of my favorite words, perspective. And this has been a hard one that I've started posing to people recently is, when is it the right time to give up on somebody? And I'm not saying if you're in a relationship, like, when should you give up on your partner in the relationship? There's a period of time when you're starting a relationship or you're trying to start a relationship and you can't tell, are you flirting? Are you not? Are these dates going well? Are they not? Does she actually
Mhm.
like me? Does she not? I was like, yeah, you have to do a little bit of groundwork. You have to graft. You have to be consistent. You have to show initiative and be intentional. Those are things you need to do. And if you're doing those things and you still can't tell, I would say, especially by like the month marker, like you've been going out for a month and you can't tell, does this person like me? That's probably not your person.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Honestly, like, here's the thing. Us even coming from women, like for us women, when we really are interested in somebody, or at least trying to figure, because there's three types of women that you're going to encounter, right? The interested women, those are who are really really attracted to you. Like they will show cues, they will just blatantly say I like you. You know, really, it's obvious. The
Mhm.
interested women. The neutral women, which they're still trying to figure out, like, I'm not really sure if I like this person or not, but I'm gonna give it a chance. And the uninterested women, which are like, no, I don't want to go out with you, or they're the ones who ghost you or just not express any kind of interest at all. But for both neutral and interested women, if they are really wanting to further the dates or further get to know you, they will find some way to do that. And they will show up at least with some form of consistency. And if you already notice some sort of inconsistency with them, when sometimes you can't really figure out what's going on with their head, then that's already a form of no from them.
And no doesn't always have to be words. It could be body language, it could be inaction, which is huge. What I tell people, not taking action says so much more to me than anything you could ever say.
Yep. Yep.
It's so crazy how often I have to have this conversation with my friends, with clients, heck, even myself when we have to do our daily check-ins. And it's like, you are bringing a material. Let's not doubt what you're doing because you're doing the work, you're taking an initiative, you're being consistent. So we've assessed our self-worth and what we're doing. It's not being returned. So that's like the biggest indicator for me to be like, I can't keep investing in something that's not going to pay out.
Right.
Or obviously they're not interested because you don't have to chase somebody who's interested in you.
Because they won't run away. You won't
Mhm.
have to be chasing them in the first place, you know? If you're chasing, that means the other person's running away.
Yeah. 100%. I love that. Yeah. First question. What is the easiest way that you've seen a guy friend zone himself?
Oh, and they're being too nice.
Which
When
is the
they're
thing. Yeah.
when they're just being too available. When they're so ready to present the world already to that other person without getting to know them, you know?
Might have to I was gonna have to give myself the Heimlich there for a second. No, that's so true. Nice guys really do finish last. And one of my favorite sayings, if you are listening and you know me in real life, or if you've worked with me several times and I say this, and is I'm not a nice person whatsoever. I'm a good person, but I'm not a super nice person. Because I feel like when people are too nice, it just feels disingenuine.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are nice guys really nice guys? Or are they
Yeah.
after something, you know?
Do you not believe in yourself? Because usually that's what it is. You feel like you have to please people because they wouldn't be pleased with who you are. And I love myself too much to ever diminish the light, the radiance that is Josh.
Mhm. That's good.
Thank you. One of the biggest debates that I have had with my boy DK from episode 1 of the show, like 4 years ago, and we still can't come to an agreement on it, is what's more attractive, confidence or chemistry?
Wow, I love this question. Confidence.
It was just it was like snapped into it. You know, the thing I like about Shelly is she knows, like, her gun's ready.
Let me explain. Let me explain why. Because you can build chemistry with confidence, but you cannot build confidence with chemistry. And at some point, it will break.
Okay, let's get into this.
Okay.
How do the kids say it? They say "in it." We're about to get in it right now.
in it.
Listen, I'm trying to stay hip. I'm trying to stay hip. I'm in my 30s. I gotta stay with it. No,
Okay.
I think you can, if your chemistry if is there, I think it creates confidence. When you connect with somebody, but you once I guess chicken and egg because this only work it only works once again, most important thing, if you know your worth. Because I'm not a timid person, but I am cautious when entering into a new potential romantic space. I like to feel it out. But when I know that I'm getting that eye contact and we're locking in,
Mhm.
I start to get a little more bold, more direct, which pretty much is confidence. And then the chemistry keeps intensifying. So I was like,
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
I
Finish
was
that,
gonna
then
be
I'm
like, it's just
gonna.
like the kindling to a fire. That friction between confidence and chemistry is really good, I think, to like get the fire started.
Right, yeah.
And then there are a lot of other things that you need to TP around it to like to let it burn.
Right. And here's the thing for me. You said the eye contact going, but how can you keep the eye contact going when the person who is not confident can't even hold the eye contact? When the person who is not confident can't even do the touches to form that attraction, to even approach the person, The chemistry is like not being able to be built there. So that's why I feel like confidence is, and again, it's chicken and egg, but I feel like for me, this is why I see confidence is because it's so easy to build that chemistry with a confidence. It's so easy to initiate something with
Mhm.
a confidence. So that's why I feel like confidence is like, yeah, it's important.
Chicken and egg, but it could because confidence is also a double-edged sword.
Hmm.
Because confidence without merit is egotistical. Because let's be honest, like, okay, perfect. Because anytime I ever have this thought, it's always with another guy. Because you can back me up on this. Let's be honest. I was like, people have definitely shot their shot. Let's not lie. They've shot your shot. Their shot at you out of nowhere. They were playing baseball, and then all of a sudden they throw a basketball at you. You're like, how did you? What made you? What made you think that this was going to work? Because guys do that, and I love men for this. We just need to refocus it. We have so much confidence sometimes, and we just think we can seize the world. It's ours, and like they'll go up to a woman and they'll say the most crazy outlandish thing, or like they'll be in the club and be like, she's hot, I like her, I'm getting that. And I'm just like, that's confidence. That is confidence. However, not merited. You don't take any interest in her. I was like, there was no chemistry to start with, and you like miss all the cues because you're like too locked in. So I was like, confidence can be dangerous. Let's be honest.
Let me tell you something about this. Confidence without merit is cockiness. This is aggressiveness. And so here's the thing. You have to see where your quote unquote confidence, what intention,
Mhm.
where is this coming from? Because us women, even if women cannot pinpoint exactly what, but we always sense something is wrong because we're intuitive. Like, why does this feel like weird? It gives me the ick or something
Right.
like that. Because for us, we already can tell what the intention is, even if the guy doesn't know where it is. And even if we can tell what it is, but it just feels off. And so that's why if the confidence is coming from a place of, again, performance, neediness, trying to impress, and it's not coming from a place of genuine curiosity or authenticness, then that's why it feels so off. And then you hear this a lot from guys who are saying the outlandish stuff. It's like so fucking weird. We don't like this. This is not how we want to be approached because again, this is performative. But if it's coming from a place of like taking genuine interest from us and bringing something up because they piqued, no, not they pique our interest, but their interest piqued us. Wait, what? You get what I'm saying? Wait, the
They
guy's interest
yeah,
got
yeah,
piqued by the girl,
yeah,
there you go, or
yeah.
whatever, and they ask something related to that, then that's a different kind of confidence. It's more of a grounded confidence. And that's what makes us responsive, because that means that we know that it is safe to interact with you. It's not coming from cockiness, aggressiveness. It's more so assertive, not aggressive. That's what makes us respond better to like the approaches of guys. And guys keep thinking, oh, women nowadays don't want to be approached. Well, how are you approaching them? you know?
So Okay, guys, I know this is supposed to be a quickie and we spent a lot of time on the question, but there's a lot of great depth into it and you're
Yeah.
learning something. So just shut your face and listen, okay? While you're at it, like hit the like button down there and share the episode. You amazing person, you shut up. So one of the biggest things that I took away was you really do have to take intention matters, but you have to take an interest in the person that you're talking to. And when you're like trying to flirt or like make a connection with them, you have to be inquisitive. I like to
Mhm.
tell people, "Call me George because 'cause I'm curious as fuck." And that's what you have to do if you really like if you're, like, IRL and you're trying to meet somebody, you have to be curious. That's the only way conversation really thrives,
Yeah.
not just, like, lasts, it has to thrive. So, because on any given day, if you're out at a club or maybe on a walk at the store and you see a woman that you like, I guarantee somebody else saw her as well, and she's had 35 different conversations. Okay, maybe like 12. But what's gonna make you stand out from those other people is being curious, like having a conversation where they feel like, "Oh, yeah, I felt heard, I felt seen.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
wanna actually have more dialogue like this."
Right.
Like, I mean, you can tell me I'm wrong as a woman. You can tell me like, "That's not right," but that's just kinda what I find to be the kind of formula.
No, honestly, 100% curiosity is very important. And this is what a lot of men get so wrong because they're always so fixated on what to say, what not to say, like just the script. And I always tell my clients, like, fuck the script. What do you want to say?
Yeah.
If you see and this is why being present in the situation is so important because you're not going to notice things about this person that you could start a conversation out of, or the things that you notice about them that you could bring up in a conversation when you're not there, when you're in your head a lot, when you're overthinking
Mhm.
and you're always thinking of what should I say, what should I do, how can she like me, how can I impress her, how can I ask her number, or how can I get her number, and stuff like that. But then if you think about it, if you ask it coming from a place of like, I just want to connect because I am interested in this person, the vibe becomes different, how you approach it becomes different, and that's where the curiosity starts to flow, and you just start having normal conversations from there.
Now, we're shifting gears here. I've been told this season that you guys missed the cheeky Josh who really asked the most out of pocket questions. So we're going to tap back into season 1 Josh for this next question. Just let me know your thoughts. This might be a hot take and I have some opinions on it, so we're going to get into it for a little bit. But what do you think's harder? Like, do you think it's harder to be like the girlfriend to a guy or the guy being the friend to the girl?
Wait. Repeat the question again. The guy
Okay.
being a friend to a girl, or a girl what?
You have guy friends, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Do you think it's harder for you to be their friend, or is it harder for them to be your friend? Not because
Oh,
you, like, caught feelings, but just, like, just in general.
hmm.
Told you, you gotta think a little bit.
I think it's them being my friend because I feel like, and this is the thing for us, and this is from a women's perspective, okay? For us women, especially if we're not interested in a guy, it's always we're always seeing it from a perspective of, oh, okay, this is my friend, yay, a new friend. But I know for guys, and correct me if I'm wrong here because this is what I've learned too, I know from guys when they start becoming friends with the girls, there's always some sort of attraction or interest there. It always starts with that, and it could bloom into a platonic friendship or it could bloom into something more, but it always starts with that. Sometimes the guy's perspective, and I had this happen to me so many times personally, that a lot of my guy friends admitted that they like me, and I feel
I
like,
can see that.
and I would friend zone them, and so I feel like it's harder on their part, because that's why they always face this. They face a lot of this kinds of dilemma compared to girls.
Mhm.
So I feel like it's harder for them to befriend me. Did I get the question right? Did I answer it right? Like, did I understood it right?
That's
Okay.
not
Okay.
necessarily what I meant.
Okay.
Prime example, I have a friend, I love her to death, and
Okay.
I tell her, "Never in a mi like, you are my type, but never in a million years would I date you." Why? There's a list of reasons, the reasons are, it's because it's harder to be your friend, because when we go out, you can't drink as much as me, so I ended up becoming dad instead of, like, friend, become babysitter. B, sometimes you don't make the best decisions, and by sometimes, I mean 95% of the times. So, you'll end up on a random adventure, and then I'm like, "God, you turned your location off, now I have to hunt you down." You're not checking traffic, you're just running out into the street. where are your shoes at? On the opposite end, I was like, what do you have to do for me? Like, on the occasion, maybe set me up with a friend. I was like, guys are kind of low maintenance. Like, we don't require a lot of,
Management, I get it. Yeah.
yeah,
For us, it's mani-pedis, and we have to constantly do something. I get
yeah,
that. Yeah. 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 So if we're talking on that sense, then it's me then, right? Like I'm hard to be
yeah.
friends with
I
a
think
lot
it's
of
so
men.
much harder to be friends with like women than men because I was like, guys, you could literally just hand them a beer and like a pat on the back
Oh my
and
God,
be like,
I'm not. It's
chill.
clicking now. It's clicking now. Your
Okay,
question's
there we
clicking
go.
now. But
We're on
no,
track.
no, 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 no,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because this is the thing too. The reason why I have a lot of guys is that's true. We're very emotional creatures, and especially if the woman is not emotionally aware, they're just there. And also, like, I don't know if this is applicable to your question, but what I realized for me and having other girlfriends is sometimes it's hard to also befriend a girl because if it's a girl to girl friendship, they could be catty sometimes. There's a lot of bitch fights, a lot of drama. I'm like, sometimes girls are competing against each other. It's like, what the heck? Like, I just want to be friends. I don't want to compete, you know? Like that vibe. But if this is related to the question, but I just had an epiphany there, like, oh yeah, I noticed I have more guy friends because they're easier to be friends with. They're like no drama. If they have drama, they'll tell you upfront, like, shit, I don't like this. Like, cool, great.
100%. I was like, listen, your feelings, they matter, but I don't care about them. Stop.
Right, right,
Because like
yeah.
sometimes that's what it is. You just need to be told to stop. Not because I'm a man and you're a woman. It's just because that's just I love this. I use this analogy at least 3 times a day. I was like, we've talked about this. We know the stove is hot. Should we touch the stove? No. Are you going to? Yes.
Yes.
Why are you doing that? Please stop. I don't have any more band-aids. We just talked about this. I don't have band-aids. Like, stop. We need to address the root cause. What is something that you think is super cringe that you see guys do, but they swear it's just like flirting? If you were just listening to this, I swear you need to click the link below and go to our YouTube page because the face she just made in that moment was worth however long this episode is.
Because there's so many, and I'm like, I'm trying to scan so many. Oh my God.
Give me your top 3. I'll be nice. I'll make it easier. Give me your top 3.
Oh my God. Oh, shoot. It's just, I can't explain this in words because the feeling is cringy. I don't know, like, I wasn't. Oh, wait. Give me one moment. The feeling is there. It's very visceral.
I don't know it, but when I see it, that's when I'll know it. I was like, I'll know it when I see it.
Yeah.
That was a feeling. Okay. All right.
Oh my God. Like, it's just like, again, what we were talking about before, like men who are in this performative confidence state when they do something and they think they're all that shit and they expect a reaction from you. And it's just like, it makes me cringe. Like, there was this one guy who approached me out of nowhere and just stated a pickup line out of random. I forgot the pickup line, but it was just so out of place. And for me, that made me feel so uncomfortable. And I don't know why men are still trying to figure out the best pickup line. Please stop. Please. If we're not to a point where we know each other and we're interacting, don't open up with a pickup line. I wanted to choke myself at that moment. I was like, I'm having secondhand embarrassment for you right now.
Which is honestly, secondhand embarrassment is like way worse than just your own embarrassment.
Yeah, it's like, God, like, stop, please. Like, I want to save you. Another thing is they're trying to like, let's say they're far away and they're trying to do a trick of some sorts while looking at you because they know they're trying to impress you, but the trick is just not impressive. It happens so many times. Like, I can't really describe what it is, but they're just doing something like very like weird stuff. Like, let's say in the club, they're dancing and they think their dance is so great and they're looking at you like, baby, what do you think about this? And they're giving you that icon. I'm like, stop! I walked out that time like, no, not me, not me, please. The eye contact is so long, and you know there's rules for eye contact. You cannot prolong the eye contact for too long. Having that long of an eye contact is just sends shivers down my spine. I'm like, oh my God, I want to cry, but I can't cry.
On the eye contact, you can look too long. I was like,
Yeah.
"Everybody knows you look away, and then look back.
Yeah.
If you pass the look back test, then you can engage."
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
So today's been fun.
Yay.
So much so that I think this will be the first time in, like, Bachelor history. I think I wanna bring you back on. We have a series that we do called "Couldn't Be Me," and it's, like, a bunch of, like, the most random scenarios that I get from, like, the internet and real life, and we just talk about never in a million years, like, would I do this? This is cringe, this is disgusting, let's not do it. And I think you would be the perfect person. You don't have to, but I'm definitely gonna grab, like, a glass of wine, and we're just gonna, like, yap about it. But you can
I'm
drink
gonna get
whatever you want.
vodka.
Okay,
Go get the
yoinkers.
vodka.
Yikes. Vodka?
Guys, I'm actually an alcoholic.
Listen, vodka on a Tuesday, that's okay. Okay, there's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
it. You know, we just call it being a connoisseur. We don't have a problem. We're just
Mhm.
connoisseurs, okay? We're
Exactly,
professionals.
exactly.
It's not for the faint of heart.
Mhm.
Let's say this. This video gets, let's say 30 likes, and we will get her back on for Couldn't Be Me, and maybe we'll do something more fun too. Who knows? If you can get it to a crazy like number, maybe I'll fly to the West Coast and we'll do it IRL. Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Do that.
Alrighty?
Do that!
Guys, that'll be your Christmas present to me. You'll get this a crazy amount of views. You'll force me to take a trip to LA. Oh my god, LA. And then we will shoot in person.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. But until then, remember, don't be cringe. Be yourself. If you don't know who that is, maybe figure that out. And then obviously Shelley's about to give you where you can find her at and what's coming up in her life. But
Hey guys, so you can see me on Instagram at Shelley Badayos, Badayos, and also you can check out my website at go.coachingwithseashells.com/datingwithconfidence if you're interested in seeing what I'm up to. So yeah, that's it.
alrighty. Perfect. Guys, I know you've already done that. You've clicked all the links, you following, you're subscribed to everything that you need to. You're sending all the right messages. Because in 2026, listen, being single isn't so bad, but we are trying to sit our butts down from this dating life because my thumbs hurt. I can't go on another first date for at least another 7 months. Like, we're tired. Reach out to Shelby. Get out of the friend zone, fellas. Ladies, if you want a guy's perspective, feel free to hit us up too. And hopefully by this time next year, you have a big headed boy or girl to take to home to your family for Thanksgiving. And like I said, I will see all you amazing people next week for a new episode of the Not So Bad Bachelor Pad. Peace, guys.